Well, hello, welcome everybody to Lit Cannon, Unlit Cannon, Drunk Cannon.
Not even drunk. Just you're
Two of us are very different positions.
You're three White Claws
Someone
in.
ditched her White Claw. Yeah, hi everybody, welcome to Lit Cannon. I guess this is an impromptu episode. We're just kind of ripping here. I'm ThunderAF. That's B+.
I am B+.
B+ at drinking alcohol.
Yeah. I'm a C- at drinking alcohol at best.
The B does not stand for beer.
No. Maybe I'll make myself a bushwhacker or something like that. I mean, if
we have so much here.
We do. We have so much alcohol, and 200. Go fuck yourself, Esmeralda. Gaming guy 8.
Yeah.
Look
Anyway.
at his angry face. He's got angry eyebrows. Anyway, we were talking about
Ted Lasso, the season finale, not premiere, season finale, season 2 just hit.
Oh,
wonderful.
This whole show just kind of came out of nowhere. Season 1, I never would have watched it. What are the odds?
I love your story about how you weren't prepared for Ted Lasso because of the so-called trailers.
Yeah, the trailers, which were actually the commercials.
Yes. For those who don't know, because I didn't realize this when Ted Lasso had first come out. Of course, I didn't really hear much about it. I wasn't really into Apple TV Plus until halfway through Ted Lasso or after.
The only reason either one of us saw this is because my boyfriend put it on the Plex.
Yes.
Put it downloaded it. It was I heard
we pirated it, and then we ended up getting Apple TV Plus for season 2. So, it all kind of comes down the wash.
Yes.
But no, essentially, 10 years ago? It was something
It was a couple of...
It's been a while.
It was like a London...
Well, because NBC...
Yeah,
NBC does the Premier League on Saturday mornings. And NBC was promoting it using this Jason Sudeikis and the Ted Lasso character.
Which was a bumbling doofus.
A bumbling doofus that just doesn't understand soccer, but somehow he's coaching it, and it's just these weird little comedy sketches that they did, I guess, between shows or whatnot.
Yeah.
And that was the Ted Lasso character. Then years later, he gets a show, but they've made him more positive. They've changed him.
Yeah, they adapted the character, but apparently it was during his relationship, Jason Sudeikis' relationship with Olivia Wilde.
Yes.
She encouraged him. Mm-hmm. She recently got into directing within the last couple of years. She encouraged him to flesh out the character and give it a run.
Yeah.
And it became Ted Lasso, which, I thought that they had just completely missold this until I realized.
So you had watched those old commercials, assuming that those were the trailers for this season. For this
and
new
I was
show.
and it looked so cringy to me, just so cringy. And I was like, ugh. So when Name Redacted downloaded them, I was like, hey, I really want to watch this. It was really kind of under duress that I was like, okay, but he was excited. So I was like, I watched the first episode and was just blown away by it. To come home and watch it here and then blow through the whole season, which you came in halfway through me watching.
It might have been on your rewatch. Because I remember watching episode 2 with you.
Oh yeah, that might have been.
And I liked it. And then I remember it was probably the next day or the next couple of days. No one was home. And so I'm like, all right, I'll go watch Ted Lasso. And then you guys came back around episode 10 or so. I just binge watched the entire series.
Did you watch the whole thing while I was out? And you were like, yes.
Yes.
I kind of did pull a Schitt's Creek on it where I binge watched all of it and then just turned around and started it all over again.
Yeah.
I loved it so much.
So, yeah, Ted Lasso is a wonderful show. If you haven't watched it yet, please check it out. I really do hope that shows follow in its footsteps.
Yes. There's been a real anti-hero trend the last decade or so.
So long, yeah. And this is such a refreshing breath.
It's not that I don't like a good anti-hero. And everything, and I like sharp, sarcastic humor.
I think we touched upon this recently with the post 9/11 era.
Yeah,
we've been very nihilistic, just very
grim and
gritty, and we have to be the bad guys to get the job done. And here comes Ted Lasso, positive, believing.
Just so wholesome. And still real though, not
Yeah.
like not obnoxious. Wholesome. Sorry, that was me. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I was about to hit you with the bread shell, but not my choice, but because I was about to run into you with it. So yeah, you did what you had to do. Yeah, and I love that positivity. I think we desperately need it in this world, and
especially right now.
I've seen like
everything is just
articles
so
about
grim.
the Ted Lasso effect, like affecting coaches and whatnot, and I believe it.
I believe that,
Because I've even even my own life, like how can I keep positive? How do I support, not tear down?
Yes.
What would Ted Lasso do?
And they've done a really, really good job this season of showing the opposite effect that can happen. God damn it.
How does it feel to get hit by a blue shell?
It felt kind of honored. Like it was, as the guy said in that movie, The Chicago 7, like this being in the first place was just an honor to be nominated by a blue shell.
Yeah, Ted Lasso. Okay.
So we've been like roaring out our predictions for next season.
Yeah.
Now that season 2 has wrapped.
I've seen fan theories of what was gonna happen with Nate. Spoiler alerts, everybody, in case you haven't seen the end of season 2. Nate has moved on to.
Nate drank the juice.
He's Manchester United. No,
West
Ham United.
West
I want to
Ham.
say West Ham United.
We're so used to Manchester being the villain because Jamie going there and Jamie's dad being an absolute monster.
Okay, I was confused for a second because I thought that's where Jamie went.
Yeah.
And then
And it's where Jamie actually came from.
In my head,
Yeah.
Manchester United would have been the team that I think they should have bought and Nate should have gone to. But I'm assuming that's more high profile.
I think so, yeah.
So
I think they're kind of like Manchester United. My knowledge of soccer.
We know nothing about football.
And European football and soccer and how everything. But I think they're more along the lines of like, the Patriots during their Tom Brady streak, like, oh sure, we just came in and bought the fucking Patriots once.
Disclaimer alert: we know nothing about sports.
Any sports for that matter.
So we're going to throw out analogies that
make no sense.
Probably wrong.
Look, we both understand what we're saying.
The fans we have in Germany and Israel are like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Oh, it's so cute that you think we have fans in Germany and Israel.
We do, actually.
Do we?
I've seen our demographic of fans and people where they listen, where they're from, and there's some Germany and Israel.
Great to hear from you guys. I'm so thrilled you
look at our behind the scenes stuff. She's just on air.
I turn up and I clip the microphone on and usually that's about it.
She reads some of the comics like last minute to kind of know what I'm talking about.
Frantically in the last minute so that I can put in my little quips and move on. Yes.
But yes, no, there are some international people out there who are going.
My God, I'm so astounded by
this. Who are the Patriots? Maybe they don't know what the Patriots are.
Guess what? The Patriots are bastards.
They're the Yankees, you throw money into everything and you'll get success because you'll have the money.
The only people that like the Patriots are Patriots fans. Everyone else is like these assholes.
But okay, so season 3 of Ted Lasso. There's so much I can talk about Ted Lasso though. It's such a good show and I love
sharing it with people.
The team building and like the Diamond Dogs. I love the last episode with the Diamond Dogs where it was really just reinforcing the positivity of men being able to talk about their feelings with each other.
Yes.
You know how like you see a scene in a show where like, I want to say like a wedding or so, where like one of the women needs to talk to other women about something, so they cut into dance and they dance with the other woman or something like that as a chat. I want to see 2 guys do that.
They're like, hey, do you mind? I just need to cut.
Can I cut in? He like the guys.
No,
dance
I
together.
actually need to talk to him. So
for a second, as like what am I supposed to do about this? With this girl, like just do this. I think that'd be adorable.
And it would totally suit a Ted Lasso show. Yeah. That would be adorable.
I would like to see that happen.
They really delved into like mental health and taking care of each other and looking out for each other and taking care of yourself.
The way the team just you build up camaraderie and friendship and respect with your team
and how it pays out.
If you end up doing something wrong, people still have your back. They're not going to backstab you, and it's beautiful.
It's wholesome
but then there's fucking Nate.
Yeah, and Nate is the. Like, what's really tough to swallow is in season 1, they're specifically about the Diamond Dogs. He says how much he always dreamed of having an opportunity to sit around and talk about his feelings with a group of peers. And how he, instead of taking advantage of that to deal with his issues, he doesn't
know how to do it.
He still is still locking it in or lashing out, and he really devolves. A friend of ours was over, and I was forcing her to watch the first season a couple weeks ago, and she halfway through season 1, she was just like, "This guy's breaking my heart on Nate," and I was like, "Oh, just you wait till season 2, because it's an absolute heart wrencher with him."
Yeah, like he has this confession to Ted in the last episode, and like I get it in his perspective, all of a sudden.
From a narcissist perspective, that's actually absolutely true. But as a good friend, he didn't reach out to Ted while Ted was dealing with a whole lot of mental health issues.
I mean, yeah, that's true. He could have done more to him, like, hey, what's up? Because
I assume that there were games that we didn't see where his strategy must have paid off. He must have had a bigger role in strategy. Because
eventually the show just kind of bypassed their winning record, where obviously they got enough to get into the Premier League again. And so something was working eventually. And once they got past the death of the dog.
Poor Earl.
Yeah. And obviously that was part of Nate's thing, where all that credit was going to Ted.
Or he thought all the credit was going to Ted. Ted always gave him credit. He just didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, Ted gave him credit, but I mean, did the rest of the crowd? But I mean, even then, I think the rest of the crowd did know, because that one time where when Ted goes off into doing the into his panic attack, and he steps up and like, do the fucking bus thing. And it wins them the thing. Everyone's like, the fucking Wonderkin, but the Wonder Kid.
Yeah.
So people did notice that he was like, oh, shit, who's this guy? That's he's got some tricks up his sleeve.
And he got a taste of that, and it really is what broke him.
The trigger of just toxic Twitter. Fuck you guys on Twitter. Just got into it because he doesn't know how to come back from a loss.
Yeah, there is that, but also personality-wise, even from day one of him getting a new job and being just a little bit of power, he was already taking too much pleasure in having power over people.
Yeah,
you can really
he's
see
been
that.
bullied for his whole life, essentially.
And instead of taking those lessons and applying them to make him a better person,
he doesn't know how to take those lessons properly.
He instead turned around and used the power in the wrong way. Like, he did the exact thing with Will.
That you shouldn't do.
Yeah,
just because you were bullied
is not
and
an
now
excuse.
you have power, it's not an excuse to bullying others, everybody.
Yeah. That's a thing about hazing that I have never fucking understood.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so someone treated you like shit, so you feel like you are entitled and have to treat someone like shit?
Yeah.
I've never understood that.
Now, guys, stop the cycle. Stop the cycle. Yeah, and I even his dad was never really proud of him. He had an article about him.
That's a cultural thing, like Indian or South Asian dads being dismissive or like detached emotionally, and so on and so forth. But yeah, like, and it just go to show like the trauma that your parents can inflict on you on accident. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I think this is we briefly discussed about this shit on the show, actually, with the Space Jam episode.
Oh yeah.
About my own father issues.
Yes.
And so.
And how it colors how you look at things.
Yeah, so I part of it gets where Nate's coming from. That fact that he found this father figure for a brief moment, and then Roy comes in, and he's the new shiny toy, and all of a sudden Nate just doesn't feel like he's getting that same love that he was getting.
And see, I don't get that at all, because I don't feel like...
Because I saw that coming a mile away. As soon as Roy came in, you could see that Nate was feeling neglected.
I could definitely see that, but I didn't see how he got that feeling, because to my perspective, I didn't see Ted giving Roy any special attention.
They were always like,
just
they were
past
asking,
that McAdoo
they were asking for
episode.
Roy, and like the one episode when Ted wasn't there that day, he had asked Roy to run the camp
training,
and not Nate, and Nate was like, oh, why Roy? And Roy was just like, I don't give a shit. Do you want to run it? Like, Roy just does not care about Nate.
And the whole, like, him confessing to kissing Keely, and Roy's like, it's fine, I don't care.
You're fine.
Like just the fact that
Roy
he's
does
like,
not see Nate as a threat. And
you are not ever a threat.
And that's part of the thing also, where you're so neglected, you'd rather be hated than ignored.
Interesting. And like an interesting different perspective.
Yeah,
'Cause,
I get you, Nate, but this is not the solution to your problems, obviously.
Well, to me, being self-aware is one of the most important things. You have to be aware of your own issues.
Yeah.
And you have to work to counteract them. My family, a lot of dementia and a lot of nastiness runs in my family. And so I'm always conscious of it and always aware and make sure that I don't delve into the Roman nasty curse. Oof, God, they get nasty.
So what do you think is going to happen this season? So Nate's now running West Ham.
West Ham. Is he running? I don't think he's running.
I think he's the head coach.
All we saw was him standing there watching practice.
I think he's the head coach.
I don't think so. I think that Rupert, the real villain here, always being Rupert, is just from day one. Like, 'cause Rupert's a blatant sociopath. Like, he takes pleasure in just hurting people. And smugly doing power. And, you know, with Ted kind of, you know, showing the difference that kindness and everything can have,
generosity and
everything. I think that Rupert set out a lot earlier than we see to play this out. So I think that he was in communication with Nate as Nate started his
we saw that whisper
spiral.
at the funeral. But I mean, do you think the
So I'm wondering
what was it fucking called? The back nine.
The false nine. False nine. I'm thinking
was that a sabotage plan?
I think it was.
Ooh,
I think at least in the beginning, Nate had it set up that if it worked, he was the hero that brought out the false nine.
But see,
but if it didn't work, then he'd already brought him down.
I don't quite agree with that, because I think, again, with Nate, he was such a victim complex that even if the false nine had worked, in his head, he knew that Ted was going to get the credit for it. And if it failed, as he said in his confession to Ted, that if it failed, he was going to get the blame for it. So in his mind, he was in a no-win situation at that point. That he was like I said, if it had succeeded, Ted would get the credit for it. If it failed, then he would just put the blame on Nate, which Ted wouldn't have done, I don't think.
No, he wouldn't have.
But in Nate's head, he had already settled this was the outcome.
Well, he'd already said that in his thing when he got pissy with Beard the episode before, where he's like, yet another thing that I do that Ted's going to get credit for. Yes,
exactly.
So in his mind, I think he was setting up either plays out and he's the hero again, or at least as Rupert sees it.
But yeah, I think in his head that Rupert sees through the lies of Ted. Yeah. And so if the false nine worked, then Rupert was like, "Good job, Nate." Yes.
But I think Rupert has set this up. That was not great or not terrible.
These past races have gone really fast.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was the third lap.
But I think that Rupert has sowed some seeds here, and he led Nate into setting up what he thought was going to be a losing strategy. Because Nate was all about abandoning it halfway through when it wasn't working. My order has been picked up. Wonderful. So I think that in Rupert's mind, Nate has already served his purpose. Like, he sowed seeds of discontent and unhappiness in Richmond. And now he's going to come over as a low man on the totem pole. And
I don't think he set enough dissent. I think Richmond's fine without him.
Oh, yeah, he will.
And I think Nate's the head coach.
But I think Rupert thinks that he's, sowed the seeds of discontent and thrown a wrench into the smoothness of Richmond by taking what he thinks is their tactician, ignoring the fact that Beard was also a tactician, Roy's also a tactician with a lot of play experience, while Ted is not bad at his job. His skills lay more heavily in team building and personnel management.
Knowing how to utilize your strengths.
Yes.
And build a team.
Someone like Rupert doesn't recognize that.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately going to be the downfall. But I think we're going to see, I think Nate is the head coach. And I think that we're going to see, they're going to fight, they're going to play against each other first, and Nate's going to destroy them. Because Nate knows their plans, knows their secrets, and they don't have Nate, and Nate's going to know how their weaknesses and know how to utilize it, and they're going to win, and they're going to be like, oh, fucking Nate, like shit. But then I think that down the line, Nate's going to find hurdles that the team's going to lose to, and Rupert's going to get mad at him, and at that point, Nate's going to flip out because Nate cannot handle failure Nate
or rejection.
Yeah, because when Nate gets rejection, he starts to throw blame, and what are you doing?
What I think is going to happen is that Nate is going to think he's the head coach and come over and maybe be put up as the head coach, but be undercut constantly by Rupert.
Do you think he'll have the title of head coach?
Maybe.
But Rupert's like the one calling the shots.
Maybe, but I also think that he's going to get like all of the credit is going to be taken by someone else, and he's going to...
Like Rupert will still get the credit for it.
And he'll get all of the blame. What he thought was happening at Richmond is what's actually going to happen
I could definitely see that he's basically fallen into his own trap.
Yes, and I think he's going to go on a downward spiral.
Yeah.
And Ted's going to be the one to reach out.
See, I could see that because I think...
Specifically with the torn up sign, I think he's going to stick the sign back together and send it to him.
Like he did Jamie with the soldier. Like, hey, great way to pass there.
Yeah, I'm proud of you for passing. And they just are confused by everything. But yes, that's what I think is going to happen.
Interesting. But no, I could definitely see where, again, it's Nate's strategies, it's Nate's coaching that gets the West Ham some victories. But like during the press conferences, it's Rupert doing all the question answering because Nate's just not great with that.
Yeah, he's always messing up words and stuff like that.
So and Rupert just has that personality, has that alpha charm that people love on screen, and Nate just doesn't know how to deal with that.
Woo! The lemonade is tart.
What do you think about Trent Grimm, independent? What do you think he's
think he's going to become their new PR person?
I think with Kylie leaving, he might become the new PR. I know he said he wanted to do something more challenging.
I think he's going to write a book, and I think it's going to be about mental health and such in sports, and he's going to do like an in-depth time with Richmond. Because they've put such an emphasis on that by putting sports psychologists on.
Ted Lasso changed him.
Changing and go for
He was so cool and casual at the end there.
Yeah. So go for like a Ronan Farrow, esque expose.
Interesting.
But it would be cool. Or he does or kind of like how Roy temporarily did the pundit stuff and then was like, you know what? No, I think this is what I need to do.
All roads lead back to Richmond.
But I think he might start out as a PR person and be like, you know what? No, this is what I want to do. I want to write this, and I want to be able to do it with you guys.
And then Kylie and Roy, are they still together? I
don't know.
They left it so ambiguous. I don't like it.
Don't like that at all, actually.
Are they going to break up? Again, Roy surprising her with a 6-week vacation was insane.
Yeah. Thinking that you're going to be able to do that, do work from the Wi-Fi from someplace. I'm like, what?
And I think we've discussed a little bit where, in America, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
And maybe that's an American thing that we're just, not privileged enough to get nice vacations. And maybe in Europe, it's a little bit better in the situation for vacation-wise. But it still just seems like, hey, tomorrow, we're just straight up leaving our lives for 6 weeks.
Yeah. But then again, maybe post-season, everyone takes, a month and a half
maybe
off.
That's not a life that we are able to live.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
she's starting a company. No.
If you try to take 6 weeks off of any job in the U.S., you'd be fucking fired. The only reason that you would still have a job is if you were having a baby and had maternity leave, which is protected, or you had cancer and you had FMLA, which is protected. Otherwise, you'd be fired. We don't get 6 weeks of vacation all at a time. You might get 6 weeks of vacation, but you do not take it all at one time.
Yeah.
Because if they realize they don't need you for 6 weeks, you'll be fucking gone.
Yeah, it's when that scene first started, I'm like, you're taking 6 weeks off? Slow your roll here.
We are living in the dystopian future that Europe fears.
Congratulations, everybody. So I'll be curious to see what their relationship is in the next season.
I look forward to it. I wish it hadn't been so ambiguous because I do love them so much.
Just some kind of clear, we're still together or we are broken up. Like, just a clear answer. I don't want to see them broken up, but...
He did specifically ask, are we breaking up?
Yeah,
And she said no.
But like, that's just... Was that a real no, or was that like, no? But then...
No, I don't think so, because she doesn't...
The next season, we're going to start up and they're split off. Like, oh, we've been taking some time apart.
Well, he's just
which they
hard.
kind of were talking about.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't think she's not the type to play games, and Roy's very much an in the present person. Yeah. He's always unusually aware of situations, and he meets things head on.
Yeah.
Like, when he has a problem, he just comes out and
dealt with Jamie and just like, fuck.
One of the things I really love about their relationship is it's almost like together they were raising Phoebe and Jamie. Weirdly, like Jamie is like one of their children that they were raising together and turning into a productive adult.
Even then, like, to that point, like, Roy had seen a lot of himself in Jamie, and so he remembered what he was like back then. Like, I remember I was exactly like you back then. There was some guy that wasn't
even back then, because at the funeral they were dealing with almost exactly the same feelings.
But like in season 1, he had talked about, like, I remember when I was younger and there was some guy that I had a problem with, and so he realized he was in that other position now, and he tried to make changes, and he made some changes. Simple headbutt, and we're friends now.
Yep. But like that
old Major League.
Oh god, that hug at the end of the Manchester game between the two of them, like I was like almost in tears, like after the fight with his dad. How Roy was the one who was like, oh, I've been there, and just like immediately went to him and hugged him. I wanted to see more follow up on that. But that's one of the things I'd really like to see in season 3 is Roy and Jamie's relationship.
Yeah, that'd be fun to see.
Depth, deepen, and grow.
And I just want what's going to happen with Sam now? Because he made a multi-billionaire enemy. Like, will that be followed up on? Will the prince, like, shit in every room of his house and burn it down?
I think that the whole Bitcoin thing was a little more important than...
The dad saying he invested in Bitcoin in 2009. Like, if he saw some of those Bitcoins, he's doing pretty well.
Life. Exactly. But I'm like, maybe people are thinking that Sam had a more humble upcoming than he actually did, including this prince guy who's not actually a prince. He's just like a billionaire.
I guess in my head he's a Nigerian prince, which he's not Nigerian either.
He's Ghana.
Yeah, he's Ghana.
From Ghana. But I think we'll find out that part of Sam's kindness and everything is that he hasn't really had to worry about things, but he's just a generous soul. He's a kind and wise and generous soul and sees things, and he wants better for his countrymen and his place, but I think the spoiled brat prince guy is going to learn that he didn't have the power over Sam that he thought he did. And also, maybe, like, the rich guy, thinking that he has power, he's from Ghana, wants to buy the Casablanca, which is in Morocco, right, team, thinks that he's going to be able to have the power over the Nigerian team that Sam will never be able to play on.
That's a whole spin-off right there.
I would really like the Bitcoin throwaway comment to be like, oh, it turns out, guess what? We're on equal footing. You don't have power over this that I don't have. And so he can do that. But
I mean, there's still quite a difference between billionaire and millionaire.
Yes, a huge difference. But
Sam has a bit more up his sleeve than just, I'm just a Richmond football player.
Which he always has. And had more up his sleeve than that because he's always been so kind and conscious and aware of the problems of the world.
Like, will he and Rebecca get back together?
They will, because they actually sowed the seeds for that way back in season 1.
I was excited to see the dynamic of their relationship being out, and like the news media would clearly target her.
Yeah.
As abusing her power and dating the players.
I really want to see Rupert's reaction, because he'd be a out and out fucking hypocrite about it, because
of course
entitled
dating
men of that
a younger
age
man, huh?
Following my example.
And with Kaylee with her new PR, and they had mentioned don't
Oh,
go
snap.
work for Rupert, do you think like the money people are force her to work with Rupert?
I bet she won't.
Ooh, and then that'll cause friction there. Like, no, like, fuck, Richmond's my team. Like, we want you to work with West Ham. They're putting a lot of money. Like, fuck you.
Oh, one of the things I really like, I always forget to mention, is how they do female characters. They don't have like the connivingness of Nate and Rupert is something that would normally have been assigned to a female character like Keely or Rebecca.
Yeah.
Whoa, careful. And I love that instead of that, they just have like wholesome, strong female relationships. And then I was always concerned in season 1 that with Sassy turning up, it was going to turn into a competitive thing with her and Keely for Rebecca's attention, and instead of it
But it's just
being
like,
that.
I fucking love you.
Yeah.
Like, going back and rewatching season 1, I do miss that dynamic of Rebecca being the bad guy to Ted, where she's, constantly trying to bring him down, and he just keeps persevering. And I wish they could somehow bring that back to where it's not necessarily Rebecca doing it, but some kind of evil force that is constantly trying to sabotage Ted, and Ted's just like, we'll figure it out.
Carry on.
I think that was one of the things I absolutely loved about season 1, which is that no matter what, he would get mad, but he would figure out, okay, like, we had 2 aces. Now I guess got 1. Yeah, there you go.
That in this, very good. Truly citrus punch in a limeade, frozen limeade. Way to go. I just want to go ahead and pat
Cooking
myself.
with B+, everybody.
Yeah.
We're a cooking show now.
Not cooking. I can't cook
We're
this in my
a
life.
mixology show now. Mixology with B+, everybody.
Yum, yum, yum.
Not sponsored by anybody.
Should be sponsored by Truly
Hey, Truly and Red Vine, please give us a call.
and Goldfish.
And Goldfish, but mostly Red Vine. Please give us a call. We will work for Red Vine. At least I will work for Red Vine. You're the better licorice. Twizzlers can suck a dick.
There are Twizzlers over there, just so you know.
I know, and I've considered it. I wouldn't say necessarily no to them, but there are also Red Vines over there, which are the first. But
I didn't realize there were red bags over there.
I did.
I
Ugh.
purchased none of them, so I don't know.
No, I purchased them. Yes. Hello. You're
A weighted dog
You're
blanket.
such a big dog. And I like that about you, dog. Yeah, okay, well, yep. Everything for Ted Lasso,
I don't know. I feel like there's more, but I
sure there
can't think
is.
what it is.
but I have to go to the bathroom again.
Oh my god. Go then.
Ooh, I have an 80-pound dog on me
Well, shut her
who's
off.
hurting my bladder. You're only making it
Pussy.
worse. This is why I don't like drinking. Mm-hmm. Okay. My God.
But get on board.
You're making it worse.
But yeah, I think that's about it.
Well, okay. Well, I think that's all it for Ted Lasso. What do you think's going to happen in season 3? Who knows?
I
When's
would
it come out? Do we know?
No, probably next summer.
Okay. Well,
But I would really like to hear other people's thoughts.
Yeah, so please-
if genuinely, if there are other people that watch this,
hunt
that
us
listen,
down
please,
on the
please,
Twitters.
please.
I guess the Twitter. We also have a Facebook page. None of them are being used very much. I just kind of got them to have them because ultimately I hate social media. And if you listen to my podcast, you'll understand why I hate social media. It's Goog. But yeah. But find us. I'll check it every now and then. And
Bye.
not bye yet. Like, subscribe if you want to talk more Ted Lasso to us or superheroes. We talk superheroes.
I'm on Twitter actually. I just haven't been on there for a while. I got on there. And B+'s stoned thoughts.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah, find her on B+'s Stone Thoughts and find us on Lit Canon Podcast. And it was too long for a letter, so I sacrificed the A on podcast.
I probably would have sacrificed the L, PD cast.
I don't know.
What's done is done now. But
I regret spelling canon with 2 N's, the traditional, a physical canon as opposed to canon in literature, which is 1 N. But the seeds we have sowed. So here we are without an A on podcast. I feel like the vowels are more sacrificial than the consonants.
Yeah, which is why O would have been the...
I said it wrong. I feel the consonants are more sacrificial than the vowels.
Disagree.
I know.
Disagree.
You look at license plates, it's the vowels that are missing.
Yeah, and you know what they mean. Hence the reason they're sacrificable.
The vowels.
Yeah, the vowels are missing.
Sorry, I sacrificed an A.
Yeah, I would have sacrificed an O,
So
which is also a vowel.
Oh my god.
Okay, it's time. I'm cutting you off. You're
Okay.
done. You're done.
You know what? Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.